Oh my God. You guys, when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry showed up at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday bash, jaws literally dropped. Picture this: Beverly Hills, Jeff Bezos' $165 million mansion glimmering like something straight out of a Bond movie. And yes, it was a James Bond-themed extravaganza, because of course it was. Only the richest, most powerful, and most iconic faces in Hollywood were invited. We're talking a guest list that screamed A-list royalty. And guess who strutted in with a smile brighter than the Beverly Hills lights? Meghan Markle. That woman was beaming, ear to ear, glowing like she'd just won an Oscar. She had finally scored the golden ticket, the ultimate validation she's been craving since leaving the royal family. But hold on. While Meghan floated in like she was walking on clouds, the whispers inside Bezos' mansion told an entirely different story. Because what looked like a fairy tale moment on the outside turned into a social nightmare inside. Apparently, from the very second Harry and Meghan crossed that marble threshold, the room's energy shifted. Harry, in his tux with that Remembrance Day poppy pinned to his chest, looked miserable, like he knew exactly what kind of disaster this night would become. Meanwhile, Meghan, dressed to kill in a sleek black number, couldn't hide her excitement. Yet the moment wasn't all champagne and smiles. Nope. It was icy stares, awkward silences, and cold shoulders from some of Hollywood's biggest names, the kind of names Meghan's been dying to impress. Let's start with Mariah Carey, the queen of shade herself. Now, Mariah doesn't even need to say anything to destroy someone, she just forgets they exist. And guess what? That's exactly what she did to Meghan. Just weeks before the party, when asked on UK radio if she'd ever met any royals, she totally skipped Meghan and went straight to talking about Fergie. Yes, Fergie, the Duchess of York, who hasn't been relevant for years. So imagine the tension when Meghan walks into the same room as Mariah Carey. You could feel the electricity. Every insider there wanted to see if they'd interact. But according to reports, Mariah did what she does best, glided by with that signature diva detachment, not even pretending to care. For Meghan, that must have stung. Then came Martha Stewart, the queen of perfection and power. Recently, she made that sly comment, "I hope Meghan knows what she's doing," which, let's be honest, is Martha's polite way of saying she absolutely doesn't. At the party, Martha looked radiant, confident, glowing, mingling with genuine heavyweights like Snoop Dogg and Oprah. Meanwhile, Meghan hovered in the background, scanning the room for validation. The contrast was brutal. Martha rebuilt her empire from prison. Meghan, people whisper, is trying to build one out of controversy. But the biggest, iciest moment of the night, that belonged to Adele. When word got out that Adele had actually shown up at Kris Jenner's bash, people were stunned. Adele almost never goes to these things anymore. She's private, selective, protective of her circle. If she's somewhere, it means it matters. But Adele's presence turned Meghan's night from awkward to downright humiliating. Why? Because the two of them have history, bad history. Remember Meghan's luxury ARO gift baskets? The ones filled with overpriced jams and lemons? Yeah, rumor has it Adele sent hers back. No thank you note, no polite excuse, just a silent nope. So there they were, under one chandelier-lit roof. Harry probably spotted Adele and thought, finally, a familiar face. Meghan, ever the networker, probably thought, this is my chance to fix things. But as they started moving toward her, something changed. Adele suddenly turned away, deep in animated conversation. Her body language was pure ice, no eye contact, no acknowledgement. Just like that, the moment was gone. Insiders say it was the snub of the night, and in Hollywood, silence like that speaks louder than words. Adele's calm, quiet distance screamed volumes about where she stands in the whole Sussex drama. She's close to establishment figures back in Britain, values authenticity and privacy, and frankly, sees Harry and Meghan's constant press antics as desperate. When Adele, one of the most respected, genuine artists in the world, won't even say hello to you, that's not gossip, that's a statement. And here's where things get really painful. Because while Meghan was busy chasing Hollywood validation, something deeply important was happening across the Atlantic. Back in London, the entire royal family, King Charles, Prince William, Princess Kate, and even little Prince George were attending Remembrance Sunday ceremonies. The scene was solemn, emotional, dignified. The king was visibly moved. William and Kate stood with grace and pride. And George, just 11, made his first major royal appearance, standing in silence for fallen heroes. Meanwhile, Harry, the self-proclaimed champion of veterans, was at a billionaire's party, wearing a poppy like it was a prop, next to Meghan flashing her leg for photographers. The contrast was jaw-dropping. Harry, who once spoke so passionately about service and sacrifice, had chosen a Hollywood celebration over honoring the military community he says defines him. British veterans noticed, social media noticed, everyone noticed. Royal commentators called it a tone-deaf disaster. If Harry wanted to honor Remembrance Day, he could have done something small and sincere, attended a veterans event in California, or even laid low. But instead, he walked into Jeff Bezos' mansion with a forced smile, surrounded by people he spent years criticizing. And speaking of irony, guess who else was there? Mark Zuckerberg. Yes, that Zuckerberg. The tech mogul Harry has publicly accused of fueling hate, misinformation, and mental health crises. This is the same Harry who spent years ranting about predatory tech billionaires and blaming social media for society's downfall. And yet, here he was, drinking champagne under Bezos' roof just a few feet away from Zuckerberg himself. The hypocrisy was impossible to ignore. One insider said Harry looked like he wanted to vanish. His face, miserable. His body language, stiff, tense, uncomfortable. He gripped Meghan's hand like he was begging to leave, but Meghan, she was glowing. She thrives on the flashbulbs, the attention, the validation. The irony is bitter Meghan actively uses Instagram, Zuckerberg's platform, to promote herself and her brand. So while Harry rails against social media, Meghan lives on it. Hollywood noticed this contradiction loud and clear. One PR analyst even said, "You can't call tech billionaires dangerous one day and party at their mansions the next." And that's exactly what Harry did. Let's be real, this wasn't about friendship or fun. It was about relevance. The Sussexes knew exactly what they were doing by showing up. They calculated every move, the outfits, the smiles, the photo ops. They needed to be seen at a high-status event again. But insiders close to Kris Jenner's team revealed the harsh truth. Harry and Meghan weren't invited as friends. They were invited as entertainment value, the royal reality TV couple who guarantee buzz, gossip, and clicks. Think about it. Bezos, Jenner, Kardashian, Adele, Zuckerberg. These are billionaires, moguls, creators. Meghan and Harry, they're tabloid fuel. They're the couple everyone wants to gossip about, not partner with. And when you look at the wealth in that room, it's staggering. Jeff Bezos, $200 billion. Oprah, billions. The Kardashians' self-made empires. And then there's Harry and Meghan, still trying to monetize their royal titles. They weren't equals in that mansion, they were curiosities. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, it did. Justin Bieber was there, looking as uncomfortable as Harry. Not a single friendly interaction between them, not even a hello. Kim Kardashian, meanwhile, rolled in wearing a bizarre royal purple gown that fashion critics roasted mercilessly online. Some said Kim's royal look felt like mockery, a not-so-subtle jab at the actual royals in attendance. Whether intentional or not, the symbolism was brutal. Kim's artificial royalty versus Harry and Meghan's fading one. Even Oprah, the woman who once handed the Sussexes their golden interview platform, kept her distance. Sources say she's quietly stepped back after realizing that infamous interview did more harm than good. She wasn't there for them, she was there for Kris. And that's Hollywood's biggest truth. Presence doesn't mean allegiance. While the Clisley that was then when Mayor Mintiv 9. Sussexes played dress-up, Prince George was making headlines of his own, and not for drama, but for dignity. At the Festival of Remembrance in London, George stood beside King Charles and Prince William with remarkable composure. Observers were stunned by how calm and aware he seemed, not a fidget, not a smirk, just quiet understanding. Royal watchers called it his first true moment as a future king. King Charles, still recovering from health challenges, was visibly emotional, eyes glistening as he honored veterans. And next to him, little George represented the future, the continuation of everything Harry walked away from. The symbolism couldn't be more painful. While George was embodying duty and continuity, Harry was wandering around a Hollywood party surrounded by people who barely acknowledged him. One royal expert said, "This was the night the world saw the monarchy's future and the Sussexes' downfall side by side." By the next morning, social media exploded. Photos of Meghan's grin next to Harry's grimace went viral. Commentators tore them apart. PR professionals called it a catastrophic misstep. Even people who once sympathized with them are now calling out their contradictions. They say one thing, do another. They preach authenticity but chase cameras. They criticize the monarchy, yet still use their titles whenever convenient. Insiders say Hollywood has started keeping its distance quietly but clearly. Celebrities see them as risky, unpredictable, and exhausting. Being seen with them draws headlines, yes, but not good ones. The party that was supposed to boost their image may have just sealed their Hollywood fate. Let's not forget the Sussexes' professional life isn't exactly thriving right now. Their Netflix deal underperformed. Their Spotify contract was canceled after one season. Meghan's lifestyle brand keeps being delayed. Harry's book Spare made noise, but now it's old news and it burned more bridges than it built. Their approval ratings? Tanking both in the UK and the US. Their PR teams? Rotating door. Their projects? Stalled. They left the royal family preaching about privacy, independence, and integrity. But 5 years later, what do we see? Endless drama, photo ops, parties, rebranding attempts that never land. And now, after this Kris Jenner party fiasco, Hollywood insiders are reportedly saying what royal watchers have known for years: the Sussex brand is collapsing. In the photos from that night, there's one image that says it all. Meghan's dazzling grin as she looks at the cameras, and Harry eyes down, lips tight, shoulders slumped. They're in the same frame, but it feels like two different worlds. It's like watching a couple split in slow motion. Meghan craving attention, Harry craving silence. She's chasing Hollywood, he's haunted by it. People close to them describe it perfectly. She's pulling toward fame, he's Noten Aunten, sinking into regret. And Hollywood, the city built on illusions, has finally seen through theirs. So, what does this all mean? This wasn't just a party. It was a turning point. A moment when the Sussex fairy tale cracked wide open. The Remembrance Day optics, the Adele snub, the Zuckerberg hypocrisy, the desperate networking, it all collided into one unforgettable night of bad decisions. Harry and Meghan's story was supposed to be about freedom and authenticity. Instead, it's become about contradiction and desperation. They traded royal duty for Hollywood glitz and somehow ended up losing both. While the monarchy stands stronger, introducing its next generation to public service, the Sussexes stand on the outside, posing for cameras they once said destroyed them. And that, dear viewers, is why this party isn't just another headline. It's a symbol, a snapshot of what happens when ambition outruns authenticity, when the chase for fame replaces the purpose of legacy. So, what do you think? Was this night the final straw for Harry and Meghan's Hollywood dream? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this royal drama isn't slowing down anytime soon. And trust me, the next chapter is gonna be even wilder.